welcome back to my YouTube channel. I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but I felt like I couldn't talk about it because I don't have a handle on it, and so it's like I was just thinking, like, why would I talk about this when I can't even like help myself? I decided I wanted to just talk about it so other people cannot feel so alone and not feel so crazy like how I feel, because this is something that I feel like not a whole lot of people talk about, which is so odd because anxiety is like such a prevalent thing. Like, a lot of people go through it, but when it comes to being a mom and just having a baby, you like develop a different type of anxiety. I mean, like, it doesn't happen to everybody, but it happens to, I feel like, a lot of people. It goes undiagnosed, I feel like, unless you make the effort to go in and talk to somebody and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. But a lot of us don't. A lot of moms don't take care of themselves like me. I already need water. My postpartum anxiety started when I gave birth to my firstborn. As a new mom, you don't think anything of it, really. Like, just thought I was just being protective. I thought this is just what, like, this is just how moms felt. Just thought this is just my life now. So I noticed something was kind of off when I would have these visions just in my head whenever I would walk down the stairs holding my baby, or whenever we would get in the car, or whenever we would even sit on the couch holding her, or anything we did. I had visions of my baby dying. Not just dying, but like horrible, gruesome images. I'm already crying. And I hated thinking these things. I just thought anything we did, she was gonna get hurt or she was gonna die. And like, I would just think, like, it would just be really like gory images, like blood everywhere, and, you know, her head being like smashed, I don't know. And, you know, I was told by people in my life, oh, that's just part of being a mom. You know, we're just protective of our children, you know, it's totally normal. And I was like, okay. And so I didn't do anything about it for years. So my oldest is 3 now, and before I had my second, I still had postpartum anxiety. Like, it was still a thing, and I was like, well, okay. It's not really postpartum anxiety anymore because I had like a 2-year-old at the time. I thought it would go away basically after the first year. Like, once my daughter hit 1, I thought, okay, so postpartum anxiety is supposed to like leave now, right? Like, right? Then I had my second born. I had him 8 months ago, and my postpartum anxiety like doubled. Not only did I have fear of my daughter, my oldest, dying, I had now fears of my youngest dying. I still get the same visions of my new baby dying, whether like in my own care or in someone else's care. Like, it doesn't matter who it is, I just, you know, but it's worse when he's with somebody else that's not me. It's worse. Not that I don't trust like other family or anything like that. It's not that. It's just me. It's in my head. You know, it got to a point where it started to, like, you know, affect my marriage and relationships with other people. So I went to go see a therapist for the first time in my life, 29 years old. I know I've been needing to see a therapist for a hot minute. Finally went to go see a therapist, and I was talking to her about my anxiety, how I just had a baby. These are the thoughts I'm thinking. And I was explaining to her, I was like, I don't know if this is just part of being a mom or if this is more than that. She said, yeah, it sounds like a little bit more extreme than the normal worried mom. I had a feeling, so I'm not crazy. And postpartum anxiety is so hard to explain to people who don't have it or have never experienced it or don't have kids. You can't explain like what goes on in here. It's like a jumbled mess, you know? And when you say it out loud, it sounds crazy. And you think these thoughts in your head like, oh my god, I'm walking down the stairs, what if I drop my baby and the baby dies? But when you say it out loud, it sounds so, not dumb, but like it just sounds silly. So I think by saying it out loud, I think it really helps. So maybe you should try it if you're going through this, because you know it's not gonna happen. So like my therapist was saying, she was saying, okay, whenever you have these thoughts, think to yourself, what are the chances of these things actually happening? Has this happened before? You know? And if the answer is no, if it has never happened before, chances are this is not gonna happen, you know? But yeah, you know, anxiety is so ugly. Like, anxiety is so ugly, and it feels so big. It feels like this boulder on you, and when you're having an anxiety attack or like a moment of anxiety, it's so hard to like break out of it, like swim out of it. So the other day I was making scrambled eggs for my son, and I hear a crash in the front entry room. He somehow managed to pull down the infant car seat carrier. It was because it was on top of like a bench where we put our shoes. He managed to pull down the car seat on top of him, and so when I left the kitchen and I go see him, the car seat is completely on top of him. He's laying there. All I see are his legs, and he's not moving. I'm holding the frying pan, and I drop the frying pan. Scrambled eggs go flying everywhere, and I run to him, lift up the car seat, and he's just laying there with his eyes open, just like, hey, sup, Mom? He didn't even flinch. He did not cry. Not one tear. Completely 100% fine. But it looked so much worse than what it really was. When I finally like came to, because you don't even feel like you're in your body. You feel like you're in like another dimension. Once I finally realized, okay, he's fine. So I put him down and he's playing. I go back in the kitchen and I just broke down crying. I was annoyed at myself for automatically thinking the worst. And I was just like, why am I like this? Why do I have to think like this? You know? I'm really trying to be like put together right now. I'm an emotional person, so I cry pretty often. This is why I wear waterproof mascara though. Postpartum anxiety is hard. Postpartum anxiety is not talked about. I don't know why, because postpartum depression is talked about. But for some reason, when you have a baby, doctors only screen you for postpartum depression. I feel like a lot of providers don't focus on the moms, which is not cool, because we're real people too, I get that the baby is obviously important, and we should focus on the baby 100%, but I feel like we are just like pushed to the side, basically. You know, I don't think people realize how much pregnancy and childbirth and the whole postpartum journey really affects us. They don't get it. The people who have never experienced it definitely don't get it, and the people, maybe it's been a long time since they've had children, you know, 20 to 30 years plus, and they just forgot. I think postpartum anxiety needs to be talked about way more, and that's why I'm making this video, because I don't know, it has to start somewhere, I guess. Which, speaking of, I need to make a therapy appointment. Hold me accountable for that, okay? Alright. I'll talk to you guys later.